The Curses and the Covenants, A History Weaver Mystery, Book 2, by Connie Worden, read by the author. Chapter 42.
But what put you onto the right track?
Larry asked me. Pete and Larry and I were hanging out at the Beast. I'd invited them over for pancakes to tell them everything I knew from Sarah's confession to me, seeing they were both involved.
How did you figure out that Julia was Danny and Judith's daughter?
Well, I realized that the pages that had been cut out of Julia's journal had to have significance to someone. So much significance that they committed a break-and-enter, well, sort of a break-and-enter, to get their hands on them. They obviously thought others would be able to see the significance too, or they wouldn't have gone to all the trouble. That meant that the truth had to be discoverable from them, if we just looked hard enough for it. Then I remembered that Julia had definitely seen Danny's grave. She drew it on the back of the page where she'd written her final journal entry. Her last words and the rock pile had to be connected. When she'd told me she'd killed a man, she described him being buried under a pile of stones, like the one where Danny was found. When she wrote in her journal about killing a man, she must have meant the man under the rock pile, except now I knew that man was Danny. That throwaway line in the middle about how her aunt had told her about it was what finally put all the pieces together for me. I suddenly realized that if the man was Danny, he was her father. She said he died in childbirth, her birth, or something like that. Then the aunt had to be Sarah, and I saw the connection between everything. Sarah must have known the truth and told it to Julia, and the rest is history.
Quite the history, Larry said. I'll never forget my heart about stopping when I walked into the office and there was Sarah with her hands around your throat.
Your turn for explanations, I said to Larry. How come you happen to be Johnny on the spot just when I needed you? Getting to make quite a habit of it too, aren't you? We grinned at each other. I turned back to Pete, still wearing my grin, and his expression made it drop off my face in a heartbeat. Was it jealousy I saw there? I hadn't quite managed to wipe Sarah's words out of my memory, her words implying that both Pete and Larry were interested in me. I felt a warm little glow at the thought that I might be capable of making Pete jealous. Not that I'd do it on purpose. But what did I feel for Larry? I still couldn't answer that one either.
To be honest, I've been keeping an eye on you, Larry said without embarrassment.
You've been stalking me?
Not in a bad way. We laughed together again. After that boathouse thing, I was worried about you. Looked like someone was out to get you. I didn't know why. So I've just been driving by your house all hours, making sure everything's okay. Sounds like stalking, Pete said. He wasn't laughing. Not to harm Angie, just to protect her.
Larry raised a defiant chin in Pete's direction. He wasn't about to make apologies or excuses for being who he was, and feeling what he felt, and doing what he did. I could respect that.
Anyway, I happened to be heading out to Minor Lake for fishing that day, so I was out early, and I drove by your house. I saw your car away. I thought that was strange. Kind of gave me a bad feeling, so I started driving around town, looking for your car. I thought about checking the school, and sure enough, there was your car in the parking lot, along with Sarah's. The whole thing was pretty weird, with you two being at the school on a Saturday, bright and early in the morning. I saw the light in the office window, so I went to check it out from the ground, and there was Sarah with her hands around your throat. And the rest, as you say, is history. Good thing you were stalking Angie, I guess, Pete admitted grudgingly.
She wouldn't have hurt me, not really, I said quickly. But all the same, yes, thank you, you did help me out in an awkward moment. I don't know where we would have gone from there.
Yeah, hard to come back from your cousin almost strangling you to making polite conversation with her the next minute, Larry joked.
We laughed again, and Pete didn't. Speaking of awkward moments, we were having more than our share, the three of us.
Okay, well, thanks for the information, Angie. I'll fill my staff sergeant in on information received, and we'll make some decisions from there what to do about it, Pete said, more formally than I was used to hearing him speak. He got up and started putting on his jacket.
My heart sank. I didn't want him to go. It was nice joking around with Larry, but I didn't like the dynamic the three of us had created. "You're leaving? I'll walk you out," I said. Neither of us said a word till we were at his car.
"You and Larry an item now?"
he asked, too casually. "No," I said quickly. "Just friends. Officially, I mean. I think there's more there for him. We haven't really discussed it, though."
"What about you?"
I had no answer. Finally, I said, "I don't know." Another long pause while Pete fidgeted with his keys.
"Are we just friends?"
he asked at last. "Are we? That kind of depends on you, doesn't it? I didn't know where I stood."
"It doesn't just depend on me."
"Well, then, again, the only answer I have is, I don't know. Honestly, Pete, I'm just confused by everything lately. It's probably not the best time to talk about things. I've had a lot on my brain recently, as you know."
"Yeah."
He opened the car door and climbed in.
"I shouldn't have brought it up. Sorry, Angie, that wasn't cool of me. You're right, you've been through a lot lately. Talk to you soon."
He drove off without another word. There was a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that meant I was going to have a good cry as soon as I was alone. Larry seemed to sense my shift in mood and left shortly after as well, leaving me to that cry I'd promised myself. Oddly, it wouldn't come. Instead, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I opened up my laptop and started typing words. Not for school, not for counseling, writing kind of words. I needed to write it all out, get it all sorted out, get it all down in black and white and out of my head. That was the release I needed. Absent-mindedly, I thumbed the binder holding great-great-grandma Evangel's diary, sitting beside my computer. An idea began to churn around inside my head. I needed to write my part of it, but my part of it, including my very existence and my cousin Sarah's, and even her niece's, Julia's, had their origins in the story that Evangel had written. Her daughter, Olive, was my mom's grandma. Grandma Olive had a daughter, Mercy, who also had a daughter, Evangelina, who, in turn, had her own daughter, me, Angelina Lyons. My grandma had named my mom Evangelina after her grandma Evangel. And my mom's name had been recycled for me in the shortened form of Angelina. Angelina Lyons, who was she? What was her story? We all came from the original Evangel. Olive and Mercy, and then Evangelina, and now Angelina, never would have had their stories without Evangel Adamson, and every single one of Evangel's ancestors. The tangle of our stories fascinated me. I decided Evangel's story and mine both needed to intertwine into a single story, as indeed they had already intertwined. But now I wanted to intertwine them into a book, a proper book. Finally, a book I wanted to write. Not just a book I had to write for a contract and a publisher and a deadline and a paycheck. A book from my heart. A book that meant something. Whatever came of it after it was written didn't matter. I wouldn't write it for money, it just needed to be written. Where had my part in the story I wanted to write started? If Evangel Adamson was the first link I knew about in the chain of events that had caused Angelina Lyons, what was the first link in the very eventful chain of events that had become my present life in Beaver Row? Oh, right, it was a phone call to Ma. At least that was where I'd start it, good a place as any. What had she said? What had I said? I raked my mind back over the old ground to unearth the memories of last spring that seemed so long ago now, with everything that had happened since then. What had we said? Oh, well, that was an easy one. Our conversations always started off the same way back then. My fingers flew over the laptop keys as the memories came flooding back to me in a tidal wave.